So a certain someone is in panic mode. We are talking about full press panic mode here too, because number one, they have created a PR nightmare. Number two, they may well have taken the UK and they may have given that a retrial. That's right, you may see an appeal because of this. And number three, you may see Virginia impacted by this as well. You can see this panic coming through in headlines like this, where a certain nameless party's lawyer accuses JD of quote-unquote planting stories in, get this, a desperate attempt to smear that unspeakable name. Now, what's funny about this, too, is that the media, they go along with this narrative. They say that the place that broke this, the UK Daily Mail, they were showcasing a quote-unquote clearly planted story. Clearly planted, indeed. You know, because, again, the media, they're not about going out. They're not about seeking out truth. Oh, no, if truth actually comes out and they can't control it, well, obviously, that stuff, it was a planted. Now, you and I, we're going to look at all of those statements about this, too. I mean, there's statements, there's ramification with a certain nameless party losing fans, their actual fans coming out and saying, yeah, enough's enough. But all of this, it's tied to recent revelations about Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, where they were promised, get this, $3.5 million. And you know how much of that money was delivered? $100,000. Now, what's absolutely hilarious about all of these attempts to damage control is they point the finger at JD while also having to admit that that promised $7 million in charitable donations, oh yeah, that's quote-unquote delayed. Delayed indeed. So hey there, to all you fine folks, by the way, I hope your afternoon is going splendidly, but more than that, I hope that 2021, it is indeed finding you kindly. Now, what makes this situation absolutely hilarious is that while the nameless party and their lawyers, the media and on, they might want to point at a certain other person out there and say, yeah, he's to blame, they need to look inward. They need to look at themselves and they need to say, you know what? We put this thing together. See, this letterhead here, this was supplied by the UK Daily Mail. And to give you a little background, I'm going to make this really quick here. 2016, high-profile breakup. 2017, $7 million were given to, conclude all of that. But a certain nameless party didn't want to be called a gold digger, so you know what? Going to give it all away. Now, the media, they lapped that up, because believe all hashtags, and they definitely believed. And that nameless party, they bragged. They bragged and they bragged, saying, you know what? I gave it all away. I'm a good person. Yeah, good person indeed. The only problem with that is after a little bit of subpoena time, you can see the letterhead here, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. You see the date here. So they've been bragging for over 2 years, not ever planning to set that record straight. And this is what it says. I am following up on the correspondence that the CHLA received on August 26, 2016. So again, you see that time frame there, which CHLA was notified by, you have a company there, that $3.5 million pledge gift had been made in your honor. In the correspondence, see enclosure, it states, the first of multiple scheduled installments to honor the full amount of, has the nameless party's name there, $3.5 million pledge gift. Since the first installment, CHLA has not received further installments. Again, who made this happen? Yeah, it wasn't someone else. It was them. So when this stuff, it ended up not being true, who can they really blame? Now, despite all of that, you, of course, have a media that has gone out, that has done damage control, because, of course, they're culpable. They've been spreading that thing for 4 years now, telling you how great this person is. And, of course, the lawyers, they have to get into it, and they have to speak on the nameless party's behalf. Why? Because if you stripped away everything else, this thing, it would be a PR nightmare, an absolute nightmare. But it's even more than that. This could actually impact the Virginia case, and this could lead to appeal as well. Ooh, what a mess there. This is what they say, too. They got to point that finger back. Mr. Depps, of course, it has to be about him. Always about him. effort to plant stories, so he's out there planting these stories. It's not about truth. And the media criticizing that certain nameless party for not yet fulfilling all the donations she pledged to charity is yet another desperate attempt to divert attention from the UK court's finding relating to allegations of Mr. Depp committing, let's just say, DV. Now, as far as that portion of the statement is concerned, there are two glaring issues with it. The first is not yet fulfilled. Now, that party, first of all, had told you that the payment had been made. In fact, in 2017, there was a little bit of hoopla saying, hey, this payment has not yet been fulfilled. That nameless party came out, said that it was being fulfilled. The issue was they hadn't gotten the settlement yet, but they were going to go in and they were going to fix it. But if you look at this, there was only one payment made. Now, they're going to point the finger at JD. They're going to say, well, because of the current stuff that's going on, we haven't been able to go in and we haven't rectified this situation yet. But look at the date here. He paid the initial payment, by the way. He paid it, not that person. This is out of his money here, but 08/24, 2016, amount $100,000. You're telling me that it somehow jumped in front of any other payment there? Yeah, not likely. Not likely at all. Now, a second part of that they bring up is the UK trial. And I found that really, really interesting because they say, you know what? He wouldn't want you looking at that when I think another person might not want you looking too close. Why? Because the unimpeachable nature of their character, oh yeah, it was based upon charitable donations. Here you have a scenario laid out. And then the judge, this is the judge saying, she, of course, according to that scenario, would have been nothing but a gold digger. Now, he talks about all types of stuff that he has to corroborate that. He says a lot of that, it comes from her. And then he says, I have evidence as to what that nameless party had received as a result of her divorce settlement. I've explained that there was no expert evidence to compare those figures with what she would have otherwise had been entitled to under California divorce law. The principal element of that settlement was payment to her by Mr. Depp of US $7 million. Now, that nameless party's evidence, so she gives evidence here. She testifies to this idea, was that she had given away that sum to charity, and that was not challenged on behalf of Mr. Depp, and the joint statement issued by him and the nameless party as part of the Deal Point Memorandum acknowledging that this was her intention. So she said that that was her intention, by the way. She told a courtroom that she was going to do that, and it was before she said in another courtroom that she had already done that. I recognize there were other elements to the divorce settlement as well, but her donation of $7 million to charity is hardly the act one would expect of a gold digger. What about somebody who lies about giving money to charity, pockets all of that money there, and then lies to not one but two courts and the media for years about it? One that would have continued to lie, I would say, if they hadn't been caught. What is that the action of? Would that be the action of a gold digger? Wonder. Now, this statement concludes here. I want to read this to you. I want to show you how the finger points and how this person says, man, you need to backpat that nameless party, even though they didn't follow through. And then I want to bring a point up about litigation, because you know that nameless party keeps saying they can bring up litigation. A judge said they could, even if they were defending themselves. And I wonder if they can do that there, then why couldn't this lead to litigation as well? Quote, that nameless party has already been responsible for 7 figures in donations. 7 figures. So we're not talking about that $100K. Oh, no, indeed. To charitable causes, and intends to continue to contribute and eventually fulfill her pledge. However, like that there, that nameless party has been delayed in that goal because, of course, you see who's going to be blamed here. Not the nameless party, not lying about it, no, because Mr. Depp, he filed a lawsuit against her, and consequently, she has been forced to spend millions of dollars defending Mr. Depp's false accusations against her. Now, a judge said in an opinion letter that calling things false accusations, by the way, that was grounds for litigation. So I wonder here, is that grounds for litigation too? But there's a lot there. a lot there that's wrong. Like I said, time frame wise, there was a payment in 2016. Nothing else comes through for years. You have litigation come up years later, but that person, they couldn't make payments because that doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense at all. So many broken things in this statement here. Now, this leads to blowback within our own fandom, and an article actually picks up on this. I thought it was kind of funny, so I'm going to read you 3 things. They're 3 parts of a conversation. Now, I'm picking up on the second part here, but I'm going to read it in total, so not all of it's on the screen. Everyone seems to be missing the point. This starts out. This is not about him chasing the money. It's all about her showing her real character. That person lied in court and to the judge about donating all the money to charity, and the judge believed her. If she can lie about donating money to sick children, what else can she lie about that the judge believed? Being beaten up? I think Depp should be allowed to appeal. Exactly, another person says. If she lied so convincingly about the donation in order to garner empathy about what an upstanding character she is, then lying under oath about many other aspects of the case would have been just as easy for her. Agreed a second. Anyone says she has the right to deny sick children money, just remember she chose to donate it, and she herself said she had donated it in multiple articles and a TV show in the Netherlands. So yeah, conversations, they're going like this. Her own fans are coming to that conclusion, and you know what? Even the media, they can't go in and they can't shield this away. What's funny is the media, they try to. Oh, they try and they try and they try. But even when they're trying, they bring up the same questions that we're asking here. It's from Deadline. We're going to conclude on this too. While implicitly confirming JD's allegations that the donations weren't fully made, that lawyer's explanation actually further complicates the matter in another manner. JD sued that person for defamation in 2019, over 2 years after the divorce settlement. So, where were the big bucks that nameless party had to pay out to lawyers from 2017 to 2019? What was going on there? That question may now become pivotal in the UK, having already seen one appeal attempt go nowhere, as JD's UK lawyer want a new trial in part because the first trial judge, quote, failed to properly assess the credibility by reference to document evidence, photographs, recordings, or otherwise. AKA, he didn't look at things, he didn't look at them right. Interesting stuff, isn't it? Like I said, they may well give him another chance. Even if they don't, they have basically destroyed that person's credibility. They've destroyed the media's credibility. They've gone out, they've dropped this out there, and the media, they could have saved face by saying, hey, we didn't know, but no, they've doubled, tripled, quadrupled down, telling you, you know what? It's that person's fault anyway. But anyway, let me know what you think about this stuff. I think it's absolutely hilarious. I figured you might too. But yeah, like I say, let me know about it. I appreciate the heck out of you too. You make this stuff work. I mean that. I really appreciate the heck out of you folks. You make this platform what it is. Thank you. If you want to help out too in different ways, we have many a link in the description. Yeah, if you want to check those out, we would definitely appreciate that. Our comic book closes relatively soon, so check out all our stuff. And like I said, thank you. I appreciate you. We'll see you soon.